We started.
We've started.
We've started? Oh my
I think
gosh.
we've started. Hello, can people see
Oh,
us and
I
hear
see
us?
us.
Oh, good. Excellent. Hello, and welcome to this live episode of Point and Drink Adventure, a podcast where we talk about the drinks and the media that we're consuming. I'm Pam, and with me, as always, is Michelle.
Hi, Pam.
Hi, Michelle. How you doing?
I'm good. How about you? Look how well we're doing. We're at like 56%. Oh my
We're doing
goodness.
so well. And what are we doing here with all of these people?
I don't know. Hanging out.
Hanging out. We are raising money for the International Association for Suicide Prevention. I think we
Oh
are
yeah,
rounding,
that.
we're rounding out the 11th hour of a 24-hour live stream. We've seen a live indie quest, a bunch of cool games, a game show, and there was
Oh,
much more to come after us as well. And we are 56% of our way to our goal, which is excellent.
I know it's so tiny. I'm just like,
I know, it's so small on the screen. When I was streaming earlier, also, the red box on OBS, it was like right through the middle, and I was just like, ugh. It was such a struggle every single time. But we're happy to be doing this live episode where we're just going to talk about some of our favorite and least favorite things that we've played so far this year.
and one movie.
And
We
one
have to talk
movie.
about one movie. We have to talk about one movie because I've watched it recently. I was like, oh my God, we have to talk about it or I'm gonna like die.
But before we get to that, what are we drinking tonight?
Oh my gosh. So I was, going through my cocktail book as I always do before these episodes, and I was like, oh my God, what are we going to do? And I saw a champagne cocktail, and I was like, I've never had that. And that looks like the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen because it's literally like three ingredients. And it's one of those cocktails that is from like the 1862, I think it's 1862, the Bon Vivant, like the first cocktail book ever made.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like so basic. And when you first have it, okay, so what is it? It's literally champagne. Mine might be
Mm-hmm.
backwards, but that's fine.
That's fine.
Champagne,
Mm-hmm.
a sugar cubed soaked in Angostura bitters.
I have mine. I was gonna live make my cocktail.
Ooh, it
Soak
smells good
that.
when you do it. Mm.
Like soak it right through. Oh, I'm still a little bit wet,
Oh
so
yeah. I mean,
soak it,
mine's
soak it,
been here
soak
for
it.
a little while. This is my backup one.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. We're I liked what Burger called these the other day. They're like horse
Mm-hmm.
cocktails.
Okay. I'm gonna
They're
put
like
this in
cocktails for
my
horses.
champagne glass.
Yep.
Yes.
And then you just fill her up.
Fill her up.
Fill
I
her
do
up.
not have real champagne because I was
Mm.
cheaper, but I have a Cremant de Loire, so you know the
Mhm.
rightish area.
Yeah. It doesn't need to be like actual champagne. It can be sparkling wine because you shouldn't really use champagne for cocktails, I feel like,
No,
at least for me.
I don't think
Mm-mm.
so either. So
That's how it is. I'm always louder. Of course, I'm always louder. I
I
just
I
turned my
turned
mic
her
down a little
down a
bit.
little bit as well on my side. Is it any better now?
Hopefully it is, but I am always naturally loud. It's a problem. My neighbors have a problem with it too. It's great.
And then my favorite part of the steps was the last part, just like the wording of it,
Yeah.
where
What did I
you
write?
express a lemon zest over it. And then
Yes,
I'm gonna put it
express.
in.
Express yourself. Or like
Express
Madonna.
yourself, lemon.
And then that's it. And I love how it specifically said, do not stir. And I was like,
Don't stir. Just
but
let
why?
let the sugar cube dissolve at its own pace.
Yeah, so it's just all at the bottom because mine is all at the bottom now. You can see the line of white there on the bottom.
Yep.
And when you first drink it, like taste let's have a taste of yours, Pam,
Mm-hmm.
as your first initial. And you're just like, meh, right? It's
Yeah,
fine.
it's
It's
fine.
fine. When you get towards the bottom and you get to the actual sugar,
Mm-hmm.
it's much better.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, I'll look forward to that.
Yeah. So I don't know why it tells you to not stir. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. It's fine.
Interesting.
Whatever. Hmm.
So today we have, before we start, if anyone has any questions for us, any thing you want to know our opinion on, movies, games, whatever, give us a donation and ask your question in the donation itself or in the chat. Hopefully someone can help us keep track of things. But yeah. So first, we wanted to talk about a movie because we both just saw it recently, not together, but it was pretty wild.
The movie is The Substance,
Yes.
which is Demi Moore. Oh my gosh, Dennis Quaid, Margaret Qualley. Yes, in
It's
a
directed
movie.
by, sorry, Coralie
ahead.
Fargeet, who also did Revenge, which is another movie that I liked quite a bit.
Oh, you've seen that? I haven't seen that one.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
It was very good.
after I watched this, I saw people talk about it on a review, and they talked about Revenge and how she has like not necessarily similar themes, but like their style kind of
Yeah,
the
she had
similar.
a similar
Same.
style for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, so what is The Substance? The Substance is about an aging woman in Hollywood. We'll call it Hollywood, even though it's like workout videos. I guess like she was a very popular actress, and then she's just sort of doing workout videos now.
Yeah.
She got to pump it up.
Yes.
Demi Moore, who's still at 60, she plays a 50-year-old in this movie. And in reality, she's 62 years old.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes.
She looks great, but
She looks freaking fabulous. It's
Yes.
insane. So she's having a hard time because they're trying to replace her because now she's hit 50. And once you hit 50 in Hollywood,
you
apparently
gotta go.
just go.
No one
You
wants to
gotta
look
go.
at you anymore. Goodbye.
You're too old. So she gets real depressed and she hears about this thing called the substance that is supposed to change your life. And it's pretty vague in terms of like how it changes your life until it actually happens.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
But
interesting.
it's wild.
It basically makes another version of you, a younger, sexier, more perfect version. But you're still also the real version as well, and you have to balance the two in some way. So I really loved this movie. I thought just like aesthetically, the style was so good, like the edits and the colors and the like incredibly intense sound effects that were like some of the grossest parts of the movie were really good. Once it starts getting into the body horror, it just keeps going and going and going.
Oh my God. I was screaming because I watched this with Briz, who's in the chat, and
Yeah,
I just
Briz.
kept apologizing to him because I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Briz. I don't know what I did here. What are we watching?" Because it just you think it's going to like, okay, that's where they're gonna stop with this, the crazy. No, they keep going
No.
to the next level and the next level, and I'm like, "Oh my God, really? They're going there?" Oh, and it's graphic, but in a way that if I can handle it still, anybody can handle it because I'm a big fat baby. So,
Yeah, I for some reason none of the things like it was all gross, but none of it like made me want to look away. Everything I was pretty fine with. I guess maybe it just didn't hit on any of my particular little like things, but just it was so good. I loved how gross it was. It was a good sort of satire. How she sort of felt pushed into this, but then sort of as people are aging, especially in the public eye, they try to take care of it, and then they get judged for that too. So it was a lot of fun, and everyone did a fantastic job in it.
oh my gosh, everyone was so great in it. Margaret Qualley, who plays the younger, hotter version of, oh my gosh, younger, hotter version of Demi Moore, who honestly, I'm still like, Demi Moore, you're still way hotter at 62, but it's fine. But I just loved how ridiculously overtly sexual they made her in all
Yes.
of her scenes. Like they do close-ups of her ass, like
Yes.
just like, and it's shiny and just like the angles of it, and it's comical. Like it's
It is.
intentionally comical how ridiculous it is. It's so fun. I was
It's
laughing.
it's really fun. I also really like how anachronistic it is. Like everything about it is like 80s, like neon. It's the kind of like Jane Fonda workout thing that like a Buns of Steel that Demi Moore is doing for her show. And even when it gets like even sexier later, it still has that 80s kind of vibe. But then they've got cell phones. They've got this, super advanced medical thing. But then Demi Moore is also looking in the classified ads to find acting jobs. So it's just sort of all over the place in terms of how you, like, where it's taking place and when it's taking place.
Yeah, I really like that about the movie and the style, the colors and such. Like you touched on that a little bit and you're talking
Hmm.
about it. It's so bright and beautiful and just like the image of Demi Moore walking down this hallway, this really gaudy, like ridiculous looking hallway with the carpet and the
Hmm.
matching walls and the when you like like length of you the length of the hallway just looks
Hmm.
so long. It's so beautifully shot.
Yeah.
It's great. I think for me
Hmm.
it's my favorite movie I've seen this year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I really liked it. I don't know. I've watched a lot of good movies this year, so it's definitely up there for me. But
You've
yeah,
definitely watched a lot of
I've
movies
watched a
this year.
lot of movies this year, and yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
movies that came out this year too.
Yeah, usually we just like go all over the place. We hit the gambit. Like I think in our next podcast I talk about like all these old movies because I'm like just an old woman at heart. And it's like I watched like a couple old ones and I was like, I don't care, I'm talking about it. I don't care if it's from the
Hmm.
60s because I'm going through a 60s phase. Meh.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I feel like I've been in like a new movie phase, but I'm sure it'll take a shift back at some point.
Hopefully. No, in December you can take back a shift whenever it becomes the biblical Christmas month
Oh
that
yeah, when it
Bill
comes
and I go through.
Bible month or Western month, and I leave you two alone and do something else.
Really
Yes.
love my westerns. Oh yeah. It's crazy. But yeah, watch The Substance if you
Yes.
can, especially
Yes.
when they, I'm sure like right now it costs like I think I paid like $20 on Amazon to watch it right now, which is pretty expensive, but like I'm sure soon it'll be out much cheaper on like some other platform, whoever owns it and such. And
Hmm.
Tombstone apparently because Tombstone's made this year.
Yeah.
We all love Tombstone. Pam, you did actually watch
We did
Tombstone
watch
recently,
Tombstone.
did
Yeah, we did.
Was that your first time?
Yep. Yep. That was my first time watching
Wow.
Tombstone. I liked Val Kilmer.
Wow. Oh my God, Val Kilmer is the best. Oh, I really should watch Top Secret again soon because I love him in that. I mean, I love him in a lot of movies. I think he's great. But yeah, watch The Substance and but don't eat anything prior
Or
if you
during.
get a little queasy or during if you get a little queasy and watch it with somebody. I cannot highly recommend how much fun it was to watch it with
Yeah.
somebody else. Even like on Discord, like
Yeah.
just do watch it with somebody.
I've watched a bunch of YouTube videos on it, and like from the people who, go to these screenings at film festivals, and everyone was like, this was an amazing movie to watch in a theater full of people. Just,
That would be see there that this would I think would be a great theater experience. And I'm not a theater person. Like I hate going to the theater. It's so like ugh, like I want to be on my couch with a blanket and my little heat pad, and my cocktail and not spend like $50 on popcorn or whatever it is ridiculous. Like no, but this I feel like just because the experience with the people around you would be great.
yes.
I loved it. Such a great movie. Dennis Quaid is over the top and disgusting. Oh,
Honestly, his scenes of him eating are some of the grossest scenes. Like way grosser than so much of the body horror. Just like the sound.
ugh. Him eating shrimp. Oh my God. It's like, ugh,
Yeah.
ugh, 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 ugh. Anywho, I keep shaking. I'm so excited. I keep shaking my
Shaking
camera
the
because
camera.
on my desk.
All right. Well, let's move on to our best and worst games we've played this year. And this isn't necessarily 2024 games, but just games we played in 2024. But first, I want to remind everyone we are raising money for the International Association for Suicide Prevention. And if you want to ask us a question, ask what we think about something, give us a donation, and you can do that.
Otherwise, we won't answer you. I'm just kidding.
So let's start off with some. You want to start with worst or best?
Well, we have a lot more best than worst. I only have one worst, so I guess
Okay. Yeah, let's
best
do.
or worst.
Okay.
Let's just do
Yeah, let's
worst.
start worst because we only got one or two, and then we can just go for however long we have with best.
All right. What's your worst games? Two or a couple of the worst games you played
Couple
this
of the
year?
worst games. So The first one, which I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me on, because a lot of people played this game this year, and most of them liked it. But I played Castlevania Circle of the Moon, and I didn't like it at all.
Is Dylan mad about it? Dylan's
No,
mad.
he came out willing to be mad, but I think I didn't say the game he was expecting me to say. So, yeah, Circle of the Moon is the first release on the GBA collection of Castlevania games.
Okay.
And it's just like a slog. Like the character whose name I don't even remember. Oh, yay, a donation. Thanks, Briz. It's you walk really slowly.
Switch every 7 days, no exceptions.
That's true. That is what you do.
No exceptions. Nope. Don't delay. Don't sit there for 3 months.
So yeah, the movement speed is just like a slog. The jump feels bad. You have to go through the game killing things in order to get their powers, and I don't like that. Anything where you have to do drop rates and you have to grind in a Metroidvania, just really not a fan of it. It's not very hard until you get to Dracula at the very end of the game, and then the difficulty just takes this massive leap over anything you've ever done before. See, Mook says it's the best of the GBA games. I disagree. I feel like they go the newest best. Aria, then Harmony, then Circle. Circle would just did not do it for me. I rage quit that game probably 3 times. I'd get somewhere, I'm like, fuck this game, I'm not playing anymore. And then I'd like eventually go back. It's like, no, I want to beat it. And then it would happen again. I actually didn't end up beating it because I got to Dracula. I was having trouble. I looked up like, how do you beat Dracula? It's like, oh, well, you use this summon and this spell. Oh, and I didn't have those. Oh yeah, because there's like, I don't know, 24 or something different combinations, or 12 of each thing, and you combine them and they do different things, and I think I got like 40% of them in my course of the game, and everything was like, oh, well, just use this guy, and I was like, I don't have that. Well, use this. I don't have that. I'm like, I'm not going back through this castle to grind mobs until they drop what I need so I can get the spell to use to make Dracula not awful. So I don't like it.
Wait, did you end up beating it?
No, I didn't beat it. I quit right at the final boss.
You rage quit. You rage quit at the final boss. I freaking hate that. When they ramp up the difficulty so much at the final boss just because you haven't grinded enough. Oh, go fuck off. Seriously. No. Have you ever thrown your controller in rage quit? I never have. I'm just curious.
I've never thrown a controller. Maybe like forcefully put it down on the. Dylan, what are you doing back there? Maybe like forcefully put it down on the couch. If anything, I've like punched the couch pillow, but I've never thrown a controller because controllers are expensive. And,
oh my God,
I like my controllers. Oh, he was. Did you lock the dog outside? Now he's being attacked. You can watch live on camera Dylan get his face eaten by a dog. There we go.
Ooh, do you think Silent Hill 2 is the best remake of 2024? Just hold on. Hold on, Ricardo. Thank you, Ricardo. Thank you.
Why am I all popping up twice? That's fine.
They've been popping up twice. They did for me earlier, and I'm just like, you know what?
All right, that's fine.
I'm cool with it.
Nothing's changed, but okay.
Everything's fine.
Well, I can't answer that because I haven't played it yet, but what do you think? Have you played a whole lot of Oh, no, you played at least one more remake this year.
Well, I played Silent Hill 2 remake. What else did I play remaked?
Final Fantasy?
Oh my God, that's right. I love how Pam remembers what I've played and I don't remember what I've played. This is our relationship.
Or even I feel like it's probably not that many this year. Even thinking back to like, I don't know, you played Alan Wake I think last year.
I did. I played Alan Wake. What other remakes I've played recently? I played Star Ocean. That's a remake. I mean, that's like right at the end of the year. That might have been the earliest this year.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like you know, that January timeline just like all fuzzes together.
Dead
so
Space
yeah.
Oh, did you play Dead Space?
I played the original Dead Space.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't play the remake of Dead Space.
Oh, Resident Evil
So,
4.
oh God, I love
Thanks,
that
Burger.
one. Although that was last year, I think. Wasn't that last year? Or was that this
I
year?
think it was last year. Yeah.
I think it was last year. So, yeah. Is it the best? I think it is the best remake this year.
Oh,
I actually put Silent Hill 2 remake as one of my best games of the year this year. So,
nice.
over Final Fantasy
Oh, wow.
7.
All right.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah, because I feel like you had Final Fantasy 7 on the sheet, and now it says Silent Hill. Okay, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, but we'll get to that other worst game. We'll just go through this quickly because they're the worst, and we only have a couple. And we played this at the beginning of the year, and I know nobody's really played this for good reason. But it's Myth Force. Myth Force. This game is so bad.
It's so bad. It's got such a cool art style, like such a cool opening to everything that just looks like an 80s Sunday morning cartoon. Even the Myth Force, like awesome. But then you actually play the game. It's like, oh, this is disappointing.
Sucks. It's buggy. It sucks. Everything is freaking spongy. You don't. It doesn't feel good. I want a game like this to feel good. It's in a first person's perspective, and I think I was an archer person, and I swear to God, I would push my special and it wouldn't work, and I just keep pushing buttons, and I get stuck on a wall or stuck on something, and I just keep pushing buttons until I get unstuck. Because the game was so bad. It was just very poorly released and
it was very buggy. We ran into so many issues where it's like a roguelike dungeon crawler, and at the end you get to pick an upgrade. Half the time you'd pick an upgrade and it would just give you a different one. Like you would press select on one, it would be like, oh, you meant this one over there. It's like, no, that's not what I meant. Or occasionally you would just get stuck, like your select button would just stop working for a while. There was only like 3 different levels and types of enemies that you fought. There was a huge bug in the town where you go between runs to level up various things. If you click the quest log, your game would crash every single time.
And so we made a rule: no touching the quest
no
log.
touching the quest log. Yes.
Don't do it. Oh my God. And then so no touching quest logs, no figuring that out. Just like, oh, I hate it when you have to have rules within a game for us. Like with Tiny Tina's, like, well, Wonderland or whatever, there was the rule that
the
you're
rule
not
that
allowed to go into
you're
the
not
menu
allowed to look at your menus.
unless we're all in town
Yeah.
and we all do this together, which is a very menu heavy game because all you're doing is picking up pickups constantly, and it's infuriating, and I hate those games. I don't want to do item management that like that in co-op.
Yes.
And in this one, if we have to have a rule, if you have to have a rule of any kind, no looking at something because it will crash or something, or because it stops everybody else. Bad.
Yes.
Bad game. Bad game. Awful. Hated it. Even though the art style was so great, hated it.
We still beat it though.
I know.
Which
I'm surprised.
Honestly, this hasn't been a great year for our Wednesday co-op group. Like, I don't think I was looking through trying to find something, and like there's been a few things that were like, yeah, this was nice. Like, Played Up was all right. Moving Out 2 was all right. But we haven't had a good, like, co-op campaign that we've really gotten into. So much of the stuff we played this year has been like,
It has been.
yeah.
It sucks because I know, like, we're gonna play the DLC release of World War Z that comes out in December 3rd.
Yes.
Because we always do, and that's gonna be our favorite thing this year.
It will be our favorite. Yeah.
Guaranteed. It's gonna be just like World War Z is the beginning and the end of our co-op experience.
It seems like everything now is coming out for 3 players for some reason. Like,
what is wrong with that? I want 4.
Yeah.
We have committed to this group for 4 people, and I don't understand, like, why not?
Yeah,
4 makes sense.
Yeah, I think 4 is a good group, but yeah, just capping everything at 3 for some reason.
No, I hate it. Ugh. What's the last one? This one I really hate, Pam. I forgot if we played this.
First, we did have a donation who asked if you can say first-person perspective 5 times fast.
First person perspective, first person perspective, first person. No.
An attempt was made. That's a hard
I
one.
I can't say that after having 3 drinks. Like, look at this. My glass has so much lipstick on it because I've been drinking for an hour.
All right. Yeah. So the next worst game was also sadly a co-op game that we played, and it was Warhammer Chaos Bane.
Ugh.
And this is basically trying to be Diablo. Like, it's a top-down isometric action RPG in the Warhammer universe, but not the real one, the square base one. I don't know. I don't want Dylan to get mad at me.
Whatever.
And it's, you pick your characters, but it's just so dull. Like, the combat is, you could literally just hit one button the whole time. You have, 4 different abilities bound and whatever, but you don't need anything.
Fantasy. Warhammer Fantasy.
Fantasy. Square base.
Oh my God, Dylan is so particular.
Like, you could just spam basically the same button the whole time. You do a quest, you run back to town. You do a quest, you run back to town. It was just, not interesting at all.
No.
Again, we beat it because we were so desperate for something that had a co-op campaign, and it wasn't a roguelike, but it was just, there was just nothing there.
I literally blocked this game out of my brain. Like, it was so boring. It was so bad. It was so tedious. I just don't. Dylan, thank you. What's the most surprising game y'all played this year? Surprising game? Surprising.
Interesting.
Interesting question. Let's mull this over for a little bit. Surprising game.
I'm just looking at my list of games that I've played this year.
I guess I should open that.
Yeah. I don't know what was surprising. I guess that actually Toem was one that was kind of surprising for me, because usually when a game like builds itself as like a nice, cozy, sweet game, I'm like, not really my thing. But it was just such a little charming game about going around and taking pictures of things and solving little puzzles, trying to figure out what you needed to take a picture of. I thought it was just extremely charming, and when I started it, I was like, oh, it's on Game Pass, I'll give it a chance, and then I was like, oh, I love this.
Yeah, I remember I played this because I saw you put it on the list, and I saw it was like, oh, it can be 2 hours to beat. So I was like, right before a podcast, I was like, let's do this, let's play Toem. And I played it, and I was like, oh, this is adorable.
It is
I
adorable.
want to complete it 100%. It's so cute.
I really liked it. And the other one that was kind of surprising was Flip Witch, Forbidden Sex Hex, because it's a porn Metroidvania, but it's actually like a really good Metroidvania too.
It's just not. It's also not. It's more than just a gimmick. That's what I wanted to say. It's more than just a gimmick. It is actually good.
It was a good game, and having the gimmick of pixelated weird anime furries having sex as like rewards for things was like, oh, that's more interesting than a lore entry. Yeah.
And then just reading boring text of the story. Oh my God. And we get so much of it these days. Oh.
Yeah. Yes.
Good question, Dylan. Good job.
Good question. Thank you. And it was. Dylan did to buy that for me, which was nice of him.
So Pam.
Yes.
What is some of the best games you played this year, but preface may not be from 2024?
Right. Yeah, so I wanted to stay away from 2024 since I'll probably be, I will absolutely be making a best of 2024 video, in a month or so. But one thing that I think it came out fairly late last year, and had I played it this year, or that last year, it probably would have been on my top 10. But, surprise, a Metroidvania, The Last Faith, which is very cool. At first glance, it kind of looks like a Blasphemous clone. Like, it's got that same kind of pixel art style and sort of like religious overtones to it, but it actually plays quite differently. People call Blasphemous a Souls-like, and that makes me mad because I don't think it is, because people think everything's a Souls-like, but this is actually more Souls-like. So you pick a class to begin with. There's a bunch of different classes of weapons that you can use. You level up yourself. You have a bunch of different spells that you can use, and you're going through this world finding these kind of cryptic-y puzzles and cryptically quest lines as you're going through. But mostly it's just about exploring the world, fighting bosses, getting to the end. Every enemy has like a unique execution that you can do on them if you get them to a certain point. It's much snappier than Blasphemous. Like your character moves around a little faster. He's a bit more agile. And yeah, when I started to play this one, it was one of the games this year where I started and I just like never wanted to put it down. It was like I want to see the next level. I want to get the ability that's gonna let me go there. The boss fights were a lot of fun. So yeah, I really like Last Faith.
Yeah, I remember we talked about this previously on a podcast, and I still need to play it because, life and such. But I wanted to ask, like, because the Souls, like, term gets thrown around so much these days, what for you is defined as a Souls-like game? Like, is it the, run off to go collect your coins or souls or whatever it is that is equivalent to that? Or, like, what defines a Souls-like?
For me, it's the sort of RPG elements where you're picking, I mean, not even necessarily a class, but you're putting levels into stats and you're choosing what weapon you want to use. So you can play it in various different ways. So that's like a big one. I find having a stamina bar to manage for dodging and rolling away from everything, that's a huge one. Like if you don't have a stamina bar, I have a very hard time considering you a Souls-like in any capacity.
I like that a lot because I've never even considered that in my brain for a Souls-like. Like even though it's always there, because I played all the Souls games, like even though it's always there in my mind, I'm like, oh, yeah, that is.
And then I find the other things that people generally think of as sort of secondary, like, okay, it's difficult, pattern-based boss fights. What doesn't have a pattern-based boss fight? Or, the bonfires where enemies spawn when you sit at a bonfire. So those are my big things for Souls-like. Like, honestly, the environment is like, oh, it's dark and cryptic. It's like, I don't care. That's...
No, dark and cryptic, but I definitely don't think it's a Souls-like because Souls can have many different genres or whatever.
Yes.
Ooh, how do you handle gaming backlog? Interesting.
I'm doing another.
I already done my second sugar cube, and Michelle's had a day. Michelle's in the process of moving right now, so we're gonna just be stressed out.
A very short-term, low notice move.
I live a very YOLO lifestyle, apparently. I just freaking do it. How do we manage backlogs? I honestly don't believe in backlogs. I just play whatever I freaking feel like at the moment I feel like it. I don't have like, oh my God, I have to play this game. No. I buy games because I'm like, ooh, like for example, recently I bought the new Zelda game where you play as Zelda.
Oh yeah, how
on
is
the
it?
Switch.
Oh, have you tried
And I'm
it?
like, ooh, I haven't even turned it on.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean it's necessarily even on my backlog. I'm like, oh yeah, it's just like sitting over my like little TV stand for me to like handle someday whenever I feel like it. Same thing with like the Mario and the Thousand Year Door. I really got to stop buying Switch games because I just don't even turn on my Switch. But I don't sweat it. I just buy them because I like them. Someday I'll get to it, and that'll be fine. But I play what I feel like playing, and if I feel like playing you, I'm gonna play you. I don't care I don't care if I played Elden Ring 3 times at this point. If I feel like playing Elden Ring, I will play Elden Ring. What about you, Pam?
I don't think about my backlog too much. Like I've got certain games, installed on my Xbox, or I've got, my to-play list on my Steam menu. But I I don't think too hard. Like, if I'm looking for something to play, I'll usually like go through it, see if there's something I want. I've lately been trying to be better about not buying too many games. So when I see something, if there's something on my wish list and I'm going through it and I'm like, I want to play that right now. So I will buy it and I will play it right now. It doesn't always work, but I'll try not to just, oh, I'm going to buy these 5 games right now at once. But I don't sweat my backlog too much. It's just I own a bunch of games I haven't played yet, and when the mood strikes me, I will play them. Mostly I don't know, it's backlog's not the right word, but I have a tendency to be in progress on a dozen games at once. So that's the thing that's harder to manage, where sometimes it just gets to the point where I want to get this off my to playing list. So I'll either have to finish it or, officially retire it just for my own peace of mind. So I don't have just like this giant list on Groovy of things I'm currently playing.
Oh man, Pam. I can't do that. I think I limit to myself. All right, I'm not including co-op stuff because co-op stuff is like a whole nother animal. Like we do it once a week. It's put together with friends. Like that's different, I feel like, in terms of like tackling your backlog and like because it's a social thing. But like with myself, like I can only handle like 1 to 2 games at a time because I have to focus on it. And that's just a me thing. It's just a me. Like right now, I'm waiting for Clock Tower, but I'm playing Lufia 2 on my analog in order to supplement, which is also why I haven't been streaming and because I'm moving. But it's like I can't handle a lot. Like I get too lost in the game, like lost. Like what was I doing? Who are these people? What is happening? Like
Yeah, that
too
can
much.
happen.
My brain is not big enough for that. So more power to you, Pam, in managing that. That's insane.
It's some things that are on my playing. Honestly haven't played them in months, and every once in a while I'll look. I'm like, oh, I should get back to that. What's over here? Hello, everyone who's here. Hi, Musty. Nice to see you. Haven't seen you in a while.
Musty and Winterburden.
And
hello.
Winterburden, hello. No worries on being late.
No, lovely to see you.
Yes, and again, we are raising money for the International Association for Suicide Prevention. We are at 57% of our goal of $4,000. If you want to ask us a question, ask us our opinion on anything, give us a donation and ask. But until
At any amount.
Yes. Michelle, what has been one of your favorite games that you've played this year?
So we hinted at this earlier, and I figure we'll talk about this first since we've moved. I forget who mentioned it, but Silent Hill 2 Remake
Ricardo
is
mentioned it,
probably yes, Ricardo. Sorry, mushy brain. It's 11 o'clock at night. This is past my bedtime.
It was hard to stay up until this time to.
It was hard. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, it's 10:30. Am I in bed yet? What happened? But anyhow, Silent Hill 2 Remake is probably one of my favorite games that I played this year overall.
Nice.
Over Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Just because at the end of Rebirth, one, I feel like Rebirth got way too big and way too like spread out. And especially at the end when I have to fight a boss fight and it takes me 3 hours to beat. And it's taking me 3 hours because if I get out of it to like take a break, I won't be able to get back to that same like half save point, that like quick save point.
Oh.
I'd have to start all over again from the start of this 3 hour long battle. I'm like, nope. I'm doing this now, bitches.
Yeah.
No. So Silent Hill 2 Remake, I never played the original Silent Hill 2. I only watched people play it because it is one of those games I'm just like, too scary for Michelle. I mean, big babies. But now that I am older and braver and more adult, please. And this was incredibly fun, incredibly well done. I really liked the atmosphere as well as the gameplay of it. Yes, it does look like everything else because they're using the same engine, but you know what? It does a good job. Yes, did I get soft locked because of a release that they did? You know what? It didn't deter me from enjoying the game. It just stopped me from playing it for 3 days.
Yeah, it looks good. I would like to play it, despite my feelings on Silent Hill 1 that I just played. I would like to play it, especially with, some updated controls. They're not tank controls, right?
No.
No. How long would you say it took?
I think my playtime was close to 20 hours
Oh wow.
or
Okay.
just under. So it's a little bit longer than the original, I think. For reasons I don't know why. And there's additional 2 endings that you can get in this game. And what I really liked is it's not the ending you get is not determined upon just like a single decision at the end of the game, which is most of the time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a couple decision points usually in those games that are just like determines your ending. It takes your overall play style. So if
Oh,
I used like a lot of heals or I didn't heal a lot at all, that determines your ending.
interesting.
Yeah, so just like the overall what you did the whole time, I was like, "Oh, I like that." Because it's not I hate it whenever it's like, "Oh, it's just like when you have games that say like, "Oh, your decisions matter." Like bullshit. No, they don't. It's always determined by like 3 decision points, usually towards the end of the game or midpoint of the game that will,
Yeah.
factor out into it and then you hit that another decision point. And I just kind of hate that because it doesn't feel like there's any validity in those decisions. And I'm just like, meh, 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 whatever. But that kind of like not intelligence, but like this decision for that is like, oh, that's cool. So if I heal a lot all the time, I get this ending. But if I don't, and I love to be on the brink of death, like, just like getting hit all the time, but don't want to use my heals, then that gives you a different ending. So I love that. I like that kind of logic into the game. So
Yeah.
really well done. The voice acting is not like great, but I feel like it shouldn't be great because of the
Right.
way the original was. And I feel like it's a good reflection of that. Like it stayed so true to the original without having to venture too far off into its own craziness. You know what I mean? And to need
Yeah.
like to update. So I loved it. I hate Pyramid Head and I hate nurses.
Oh no, poor nurses. Man,
They're
when I was playing Silent Hill 1, we got this hammer and we were just murdering nurses all over the place. It's funny. Harry is complete shit with a gun or a metal pole or a knife, but you give him a hammer and
Like a small hammer?
no, like a big two-handed over the head
Oh.
hammer, like a
Like
sledgehammer.
a soul's
Yeah.
hammer.
Yeah.
Fun. No, like
Except he can't kill a cockroach on the ground with it. But that's fine.
oh, see, that was really nice about the remake too. Like the hit thing for like the cockroaches and such felt good. Even on the walls, even though like things are like crawling on the ceilings and stuff and they're going fast. If you just like somewhat get to them, again, I played on standard mode, standard puzzles. So if I'm sure you play on hard mode, you got to be more specific to it. But if you just like swung and you're in the not general vicinity, but you were pretty close, you hit that thing.
That's good. Do
So
you
good.
also stomp enemies like once they're on the ground? You stomp them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I was
Excellent.
curb stomping for like 5 minutes. I'm like, are you
Nice.
dead yet?
Yeah.
Are you dead? I don't think you're dead.
Does the second one use the radio? Like, can you
Yes.
hear? Oh, okay. So you can tell whether they're dead or not based on if the radio's still going.
Yeah, I didn't care.
Oh, okay. I have to be sure.
Yeah. I think I double tap. I watch movies. I know. But yeah. Oh, maybe my game of the year. Silent Hill 2 remake.
Awesome.
What is a top game for you, Pam?
So I played a game called Betrayal at Club Low, which is by a developer called Cosmo D, who makes a bunch of weird games with like weird jazzy soundtracks. They look like they're made out of just asset flips, like someone just bought an asset pack from the store. Just like the environments don't make a lot of sense. Just how they're put together. But this particular one is kind of like a take on an RPG, and you're a secret agent. You're trying to find out this mystery, and you go to this dance club slash pizza shop, or maybe you're a pizza delivery man. And you're talking to various people, and you're doing dice rolls to decide if you're going to be successful on things, and you're leveling up odd stats. And it's just a very strange game that I heartily enjoyed. From all the Cosmo D games, I think this is the most gameplay intensive. A lot of the other ones tend to be kind of walking simmy, like, you know, you walk around, you talk to some people, you do some things. This had like actual, you know, stat building, dice rolling mechanics in it, but it was just very fun. Like, all of the conversations were super amusing. The soundtrack was pretty banging. Like, it was just a very strange, fun game.
I love strange and fun. That's a great combination. Games should be more strange. So wild.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I remember seeing this game, and it looks like one of those like early 2000, like the way some of the characters are, just that flat-faced mannequin looking.
Yeah, exactly like that. They look like mannequins.
But like just like weird and kind of creepy, and you're like, where are we going with this? I like that. I like that feel. Give me more weird. We don't have to all be the same. You know, as much as I love Final Fantasy, we don't all have to be looking like Final Fantasy and doing Final Fantasy to be a great game.
No, I love a game that has just weird graphics. Like, you don't have to look photorealistic. Just have a style. Like, have a thing to stay. Like, this is me. This is what I am, and I am different than everyone else. Like, that's what I want.
I feel like we watched that and tried. This is me. This is me. This is who I am. God, we love drag. Oh, goodness.
What's another of your favorites from this year?
Well, I played it this year. It doesn't mean it was released this year. I played Heavy Rain, which is a David Cage classic. And honestly, playing Indigo Prophecy prior to this is way better than Indigo Prophecy, I think. Just because of the Ethan. Or what does he yell? It's maybe not Ethan. Is it Ethan?
Jason.
Ethan.
I feel like I actually, that gives me an idea for my Silent Hill video. Cheryl. Sorry. I feel like I should have had press X to Cheryl. Sorry. Yes.
Oh, Anonymous, thank you for donating $5. What's the weirdest game you played and enjoyed? Let me talk about Heavy Rain as I think about that. So Heavy Rain is a David Cage classic from who knows how long ago, 10, 15 years ago. And they sort of redid it, just retouched it. So it just looks a little bit crispier on the graphics or whatever. And you play four different characters in this game to tell the story of who is the origami killer and how to help the father of the most terrible father on the face of the planet to find his son who has been kidnapped by the origami killer, whose first son was killed because he's a horrible father, and then he gets the second one kidnapped because he can't pay attention.
He's not good at having children. Sorry.
No, he's not. He's awful. He sucks.
Pretty bad.
He sucks. He's really terrible. But so you have him, you have the detective, you have the FBI agent, and then you have this super hot journalist who you have a nude scene in the shower. And I'm so surprised I did not get like demonetized or flagged on Twitch for this, because it's full on boobies.
Really?
And I thought it was hilarious.
I got banned for pixel boobies.
No.
Leisure Suit Larry. Okay.
It's because you're too big, Pam. You're too big. You gotta be smaller. So. Gotta be smaller to show the big boobies. But it's great. I loved the mini. I'm not gonna call them mini games. I guess they are mini games. Kind of mini games, like the whole like tests that you have to do in order with the origami killer. I love driving against traffic.
That's my favorite part of the whole game, and the only time I've ever liked motion controls. Like, I was like, ooh, this is good. This makes me feel like I'm actually driving a car. Not really, but kind of.
It was amazing. I had such a great, and it was such a great game to play on stream with people and going through that experience. So I'm not a huge, I guess David Cage can get a little wordy and whatever, like I watch people play Detroit. I'm just like, meh with Detroit. This was great. Amazing. So I loved it. Wait, 200 from Burger. You're awesome.
Amazing
$200.
burger. Thank you.
I didn't see that.
I didn't. Okay, so where are we? We have, what's the weirdest game you've played in it? What do you want me to throw you? Oh, that wasn't from you? Oh. Did you mean throw something? Oh, at Dylan.
There
I threw
you
something
go.
at Dylan. Thank you. Anonymous. The weirdest game you played
Sugar
and enjoy. It was a sugar cube, yes. Okay, I forget what it's called. I've been trying to look it up while you've been talking. It's a game where you play. You're like a fly or a mosquito. It's like a 5-minute game, and you see this light, and you're just going towards the light as a mosquito.
Uh-huh.
And then
That's
you get it. But what is that game called? I'm trying to find the name of it. Game.
Is this
where
like
you
when you
as
go
a
towards the sun? What is
fly?
that game?
I'm not sure, but that's the
The weirdest game you've played. Wow. Oh my gosh, this is difficult for me. I opened up my PS5 recently and I saw IQ.
Oh, IQ is a pretty strange one.
That
Yeah.
was strange. I tried to beat the first level. Michelle's IQ is not high enough for IQ.
I actually had the same experience. So if you were here before we started, Blink was playing Mr. Mosquito. I played Mr. Mosquito and I quit before I got anywhere. But you just have to dive bomb people and suck their blood. And that was a pretty weird game. Although I didn't enjoy it. That was part of the question too. So I guess that doesn't really count.
Yeah. I guess, I don't know. Weird and like are very different things. I don't know. Game I like that is weird. I'm so basic.
Things are weird. Like it's hard. Like Deadly Premonition is a weird game and a janky game, and I loved it. But it's also kind of, it's got, it's a third person sort of action-y RPG thing, so it's not that weird. I'm thinking about things that are mechanically just very strange games.
I mean, I remember playing Secret of Evermore a lot as a kid, and that's just a terrible game.
Yeah, a lot of Japanese games are weird.
Yeah, if we're gonna get weird in that sense, all those weird Japanese. And my sister's going through a Japanese frickin' phase right now, just buying all the Japanese games for $1 off Whatnot.
Oh wow! All right.
Oh yeah, a couple dollars. She's buying all these games. I posted in the Discord, she bought 15, 20 games. I was there yesterday or today, and she says deliveries of 20 games from Japan. She gets off Whatnot. And she's like, they were a couple dollars each, Michelle. I'm like, really? Okay. Not that we're ever gonna play them, but it's fine.
All right. So I threw something at Dylan. Burger Champ asked, "What's a non-Silk Song game in 2025 you're looking forward to?"
What's coming out in 2025? See, this is also my problem.
That you don't, yeah.
I don't look into the future.
So something I'm looking forward to a lot is The Alters, which is by 11-Bit Studio, who made this War of Mine, which is awesome. I think.
Oh my God, you
Did they
love
make
the fucking
fun?
stressful
Yeah,
game.
I love the stressful game. So the Altars is a game where you're a space miner and you can create alternate versions of yourself. So you're on this planet and you're trying to like build it up around you to like mine things and get food. So part of it is like a resource management kind of survival game, but you're also constantly creating copies of yourself who, you know, maybe have things to say about the fact that they're your weird clones. So there was a demo of it that I played this year, which was actually a fairly like comprehensive demo, going all the way back into how you even ended up here and being able to go back to different points of you and create a clone from that. And it was just a really interesting idea, and I'm very much looking forward to it coming out, the whole thing coming out.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. So I'm the worst because we go through like, you know, the summer, they have Summer Game Fest now and all those things, and you watch these trailers and I'm like, oh, that looks good. That looks good. And then
Yeah.
after the trailer, after that ends, I literally just forget about it because I
Yeah.
know it's going to be like 2 years before I see that thing again.
Yeah, you have to
You know
write
what I
them
mean?
down or you're gonna forget about it. Apparently there's a Carmen Sandiego game coming out in Q1.
Really?
Sorry, I just have a thing open. Yeah. Oh, Citizen Sleeper 2. I love Citizen Sleeper 1, so I'm looking forward to the second one coming out a lot. Oh, yeah, the Paradise Killer mascot game. I'm also looking forward to that. Yeah.
Oh, another
Okay.
Paradise Killer one?
Yeah, by the same. It's not the same game, but it's by the same developers, and it looks pretty cool.
Oh, I like that game a lot. You turned me on to that game. I really like that.
Yeah, it was fun.
Oh,
Aaron,
man.
thank you for the donation. Do you have a question you want to ask us? Oh, also, we only have 4 minutes left.
See, I knew this would happen. We were like, I was like, oh, we'll just talk about like these couple little things. And I was like, because we'll talk about shit
We
for
will.
like, we'll just rant and rage all over the place. So, and I know Winterburden had a question too. He said, I sorry, Winterburden. You know we loves you. Oh my God, Michelle.
What's your favorite question to get asked from people who ask you questions? That seems like a trick question.
I know, right? What do people always ask us? Oh my goodness. I don't know. My favorite question to always get from people though is like, what new vinyl have you got?
Oh, yeah. Actually, I think Rick was asking that on the previous stream, but you weren't around.
I was kind of around. I have it on all day today, but I was just like, you know, I'm moving. I gotta do shit. But new vinyl I got. I love when people ask me about vinyl because I'm obsessed. And it's a problem, and I can't wait to move so I can buy more vinyl.
So you've got more room for vinyl.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't want to buy something I'm gonna move in a week. You know what I mean? Like even though it's just it's literally a piece of flat paper, like whatever.
But still, you don't want more things to move. You want less things to move.
Exactly. No. So yeah, I did buy a Pink Floyd compilation one from 1973.
Oh.
I'll go get it while you talk about
Nope.
yours.
I don't have anything to say about vinyl right now.
It's got this
Oh,
is
look at
a nice pair.
Of tits?
We're gonna get demonetized. Yeah. That's what you get here, kids. But yeah, a nice pair. So it's a combination album. And I've never seen this before. This is from 1973. So I was like, hell yeah. Oh my God, there's boobs on the back of this too. I love it. Anyhow. Yeah. It's not a new release or anything, but
We also have
vinyl.
a question from Rock and Aaron Show. What's a video game series you have always wanted to get into but never did?
Suikoden.
For me,
Suikoden.
I think it's Metal Gear Solid. I never
Oh,
got into
God,
it, and I just felt like I missed the boat, and I'm just not going to try now.
I'm not going to do stealth at this age. No. I can't do stealth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Suikoden for sure. You know what I called it when I was a kid?
What?
Suikoden.
That doesn't sound any different. It sounds like the same thing.
Suikoden?
Yeah.
Then Suikoden?
I feel like Suikoden isn't even right. I think no one's saying it right that's not Japanese, honestly.
Everybody is wrong.
Yeah, I think everybody is wrong. So, we also, Ricardo asked, do we recommend any movie?
Besides The Substance, anything with Paul Newman. I rewatched Slapshot the other day, and it was fabulous, and I love him.
If you like horror, I recommend Oddity. I feel like that was my favorite horror movie that I watched from recently. I know we're wrapping it up. I think we are almost done. Thank you, everyone, for watching, especially those of you who donated. Next up is Briz, who is going to be playing the Lake House DLC of Alan Wake. So stay tuned for that if you want to get into some spooky Alan Wake stuff. We're signing off now, and thank you. And
We should do these more often.
we should do these more often.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.